Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another reaction video. Well, the Super Bowl was yesterday, and as usual, there are plenty of different ads advertising different kinds of products. But one thing that was interesting was just the number of ads that were somewhat adjacent to mental health. And so that piqued my curiosity as I was watching the Super Bowl. And so I decided to make a reaction video to 3 of these ads that we'll be checking out today and talking about their messages about mental health and whether they're true and whether it's worth investing in the product that they're selling. So the ones that we'll be talking about today include Hallow, the prayer app, Snapchat, and then the NFL Character Playbook. As usual, please like and subscribe, stay up to date with our content, and let's get into it.
God, we take this moment just to give you thanks. We thank you for this time to come together as a family, as friends, and as a country. Help us, Lord.
Okay, so Mark Wahlberg, big name actor, obviously. I think his background is Catholic, and what I read about Hallow is that it is a very Catholic kind of app, and that leans more towards the conservative Catholic rather than the more progressive Catholic that the Pope is right now. One of the ways I pick that up is tying in kind of the country and the military aspect. Usually when you see military tied in with faith, that's a sign of the moral majority. And I'm not super familiar with the Catholic context, I'm Protestant myself, but as we see them crossing themselves and even the little kid getting into it, that is part of the ritual that goes into religion, and every religion has their own rituals, and so it is very interesting that they choose to show that part. And I think one of the double-edged things about religion is that it does have these rituals that are built into it, and so for a lot of people it can be beneficial in that it gives you a blueprint for how to do life. It gives you a blueprint for how you talk to God, how you connect with something bigger than yourself. On the flip side, as we've talked about in previous videos, that can be ripe for abuse as soon as you get a lot of authority and power and influence involved. Generally very easy to be abused. But let's keep watching.
Especially this Lent, to grow closer to you. Amen. Join us in prayer this Lent on Hallow. Stay prayed up.
That's a weird motto, stay prayed up. I don't know if they're trying to be hip or whatever, but one of the actors who was in that commercial is actually the guy who plays Jesus in the TV series The Chosen. So they did get some big name actors into this ad. One of the things I will say, I have had Catholic clients, and they found praying the rosary to be a very grounding experience. And so if we talk about mindfulness experiences, a lot of religions have mindfulness baked into their system, and sometimes it's prayer, sometimes it might be other kinds of experiences. But the reason I lump this in as one of the mental health adjacent advertisements is because Hallow markets itself as a bit of a mindfulness app, a spiritual and mental wellness for Christians. And so I'd say if you understand what you're signing up for, that this is a conservative Catholic app and that they will be encouraging you to pray, and that there are very specific worldviews at play here, specific messages that they'll get across, then I think it might be worth checking out for you. I don't know if they're offering like a free trial or whatever, but spirituality is an important part of mental health, and if you find it through prayer, then this might be an app for you. I will say for people who are sensitive to some of these things, I think I read a review that said Jim Caviezel, the guy who played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ, who is a QAnon conspiracy theorist, and espouses a lot of those theories. I think he's featured prominently in the app, and so that might be something to watch out for, that along with some of the conservative rhetoric comes with some of the celebrities that they brought on to do this app. So just be forewarned that if you decide to go with this app, that might be something to watch out for, especially if that's something that you're sensitive to. All right, we're going to transition over to the Snapchat ad. Now, the one that I found is longer than the spot that they put in the Super Bowl, but I think the message is pretty much the same. And to set it up, basically what they're saying is that Snapchat is a lot more personal. It's less about being performative and creating radical content just to get views and likes, and it's more about connecting with other people. So let's see what they say about that. So the premise of this is comparing and contrasting, I guess, Snapchat with other social media apps, maybe like Instagram, Facebook, or whatever else. They're contrasting the fakeness of those other social media apps with how genuine you can be on Snapchat. Now, I do agree with their premise that there is a lot of room to be fake on social media because you are trying to perform to a certain audience, you're trying to portray your life in a certain way, and I talked about that in another video about Instagram particularly and why they're getting sued. And I will say from the outset, I'm a little too old to know much about Snapchat, and so I'm just gonna be relying on other people's analysis. Please comment below what you think about Snapchat so that I can get a better read on whether this advertisement is telling the truth or if it's just a PR deal.
I want you to clap your hands, jump up and down, do anything that you want.
So I think that's the main selling point of Snapchat, that you get to be more human in the process. You can do some of the silly stuff instead of having your feed have to be perfectly curated and picture perfect, all of those things. I don't know if that's actually true for Snapchat. I think with any social media, there's a bit of a performative aspect in the sense that you are not presenting just your raw self. And we do that in interpersonal connections too, but I think more so because it's so public in social media that we feel more incentivized to make sure that things are really prettied up and filtered and curated properly. And I'd say if this is your main concern when it comes to social media, then don't even stop at Snapchat, just go and have conversations with people. I get that that can be anxiety provoking. I get that that can be difficult. It leads to awkwardness and tension in conversations when you don't get the chance to rewrite a message or when you don't get a chance to edit a picture. If you do want things to be more human, like this ad is saying, that's the way to do it, is in real interpersonal connection, not even in Snapchat, even if it does offer a benefit that other social media platforms do not. Which again, like I said, I don't know. I'm not on Snapchat, so again, in the comments, let me know if this is real or not.
Everybody say yeah! Say yeah! Clap your hands just a little bit louder. Clap your hands just a little bit louder. Just a little bit
At least they're being very upfront about what they're selling. They're not actually selling human connection here. They're selling more Snapchat. I think there is a desire for people to have real connections, and social media may have started out that way, but it's grown into something a lot different from maybe what it was intended to be originally. And so again, I've talked about this before, and this ties into the religion piece too. People are looking for community. People are looking to connect with something that's bigger than just themselves. And a lot of times the key to our mental health is connecting and looking beyond just what we need and what we want to recognize the needs of others around us, or to show gratitude or mindfulness or connection to things that are bigger than us. And so it's very tempting for us to look at social media and think that that's how we'll get that fixed, how we'll have that need met. But for the most part, that's not the case. The article where I got the link to this video from also says that Snapchat itself doesn't have the best record when it comes to user happiness anyway, and so just take the ad with a grain of salt. The final ad that I want to pick up is for the NFL Character Playbook, and this is a product that I haven't looked into much, but apparently it's free for all schools and students, and it looks like a prevention effort for students to develop mental health skills and things like that to be able to develop their resiliency, especially when it comes to mental health, bullying, anxiety, depression, things that students face on a daily basis. So let's check that out.
No one cares about me, so why should I care about myself?
I'm scared. I'm hopeless.
Even when I'm with my friends, I feel alone.
I feel like a failure every day.
These are the stories of kids struggling with mental health. Anxiety affects nearly a third of them. That's why the NFL is working to give kids the tools to be stronger and more resilient.
Millions of kids feel alone. We can show them they aren't.
No one cares about me.
I love this. It gets athletes involved, the NFL as an organization, schools involved in supporting students as they deal with mental health issues. Anxiety was one that they highlighted, but it sounded like bullying, feeling isolated or depressed also factors into that as well. I would be interested in checking out what the Character Playbook actually is. From the brief glimpse that I saw of the screen, it looked like there might have been just discussions about how we think of ourselves, how we handle ourselves in different situations. Well, this is one of the things that I talk about with prevention efforts. If huge organizations like the NFL can get into creating resources, teaming up with nonprofits, maybe like NAMI or other kind of national organizations to create resources that would help students before they get to the point of needing specific mental health intervention, we can actually prevent a lot of the mental health problems that might come up. And a lot of these feelings are very normal for students. You talk about feeling alone, feeling isolated even when you're with friends, feeling anxious a lot of the times. That's all very normal stuff. But if you can have these prevention efforts, teaching skills, teaching how to support each other, those are ways that we can prevent those from becoming very intensive cases, prevent those from turning into long-term issues, and release some of the load on the mental health care system. So I think there's a very strong place for prevention efforts. I'm glad the NFL is involved in this. And like I said, I haven't checked out the content, so I hope it's good. That may be a video that we do in the future. But I'm glad that they took that time. Like they said, they serve 2 million students already across the country. I hope they are able to serve more, especially through raising awareness through an ad like this. I know ads like this aren't cheap. You're talking about millions of dollars for 30 seconds during the Super Bowl. So I'm glad that whoever was sponsoring this is taking the money to raise awareness about the need for students to have mental health services and prevention efforts, to create the Character Playbook, and to bring on these athletes who lend some of their credibility to this initiative. All right, so that's it for all of the mental health ads that I picked up on. There may have been some that I accidentally skipped over or I just didn't notice because I was out getting snacks or doing other stuff with the kids, things like that during the game. But comment below what you think of these different ads, what you think of the products that they're selling. And I'm especially interested to know what you all think of the Snapchat one. That one was really interesting to me. I think they walk a very fine edge there where it can sell very well or it can backfire depending on somebody's experience with Snapchat and their perception of Snapchat as a whole or social media as a whole. But everyone, thank you so much for checking out this video. Again, please like and subscribe to the channel. That helps us to grow and create more content like this for you all. We're always updating things with the latest in mental health news, reacting to different videos like you saw here today, and just advocating for people to take charge of their mental health care. So again, please like and subscribe. Thank you for checking out this video. I'll see you next time.